The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Illuminating the Paranormal, opening your mind to the possibility. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Just to let you know that the weather in the Midwest is, well, it's just plain weird. We went from 72 degrees last week to, I actually had snow today. Yes, that big old four-letter word, snow, coming down. It didn't lay on the ground or anything, but was definitely in the air. It went from tiny to big and huge, and then what looked like a whiteout to now it's just sunny out. But that's the Midwest. That's what we have around here all the time. So really hoping tomorrow will be better, but we'll have to wait and see. Well, after 28 days of self-isolation, I actually left the house on Monday. I went to pick up a prescription at like a drive-through pharmacy, and then I stopped at one of our local grocery stores to pick up my order. So I didn't actually get out of the car, so I didn't quite break isolation, but you know what? It was so good to be out of the house. It's like I had to remember how to drive my car again, but it was good. It was good to be out. It was good to see people. I was immensely surprised to see, probably out of about 170 people that I saw between the pharmacy and the grocery store, 8 people had a mask on. Only 8. So please, my friends, my neighbors, everyone, please stay safe. Wear a mask, wear gloves, wash your hands repeatedly, but please stay safe. I want you to be with us, and I want to be there too at the end. So, well, with that being said, I have some wonderful guests tonight, and those guests are the one and the only, the Mountain Gypsies. Welcome, Kat and Tess. How are you ladies tonight?
Doing great. How are you? We're doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing really, really well. Hope you guys are all doing good. And let me tell you a little bit about these ladies. Well, besides the fact that they're crazy, and I've known that for years, but that's all right. These ladies, they are multifaceted, gifted, intuitive seer healers from the Appalachian Mountains. By the way, I used to live at the bottom of the Appalachian Mountains, so I'm your cousin from the bottom of the hill. Their lineage is that of Scottish travelers, Cherokee, and Melungeon. That's it. That's better. They have the sight, the healing, the magic. It's all been passed down through the bloodlines from all sides. Their knowledge of mountain herbs and stones on how to break bondage and set people free is not of this earth, but from a heavenly realm, and I can attest to that. They follow a higher power. They have no agenda to preach their beliefs, but to heal those who God puts in their path. They will walk you through your pain with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding given to them to help heal you. And also, let's see, ladies, you've gone all over the United States to do healings, exorcisms, clearings, lectures, and more. You can find the Mountain Gypsies on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and many other different areas and platforms. The Mountain Gypsies, just a few things. I believe that's the name of your show. Is that it?
Right. Yeah, Mountain Gypsies.
Yes.
Just a few things.
Yeah. And you can also find them online at gypsystones.com or on Facebook. Oh, ladies, how do you find time to just breathe or go to the grocery store?
We're opening a new business right now too. In Rhode Mountain, we just got a new building. We're putting it's going to be the Gathering Learning Center, where all of our students, because we have students come from all over the United States that come here to take all the different Appalachian classes and that we offer. And so we've just opened a new facility. We're in the process of it. I've got paint underneath my fingernails and my hair. I think I've got it in my eyeballs. And we've got that going on. And Tess is a licensed yoga instructor, and we're going to be teaching yoga. She'll have yoga up there. And we've just got a lot going on. Little Mamie's opening her shop with all of her little trinkets and baubles and such that she's got. It's pretty big back in there. We're going to be offering lots of other things, too, like, the sound therapy, the vibration therapy, the light therapy, counseling. You also can come in for body scrubs and just all kinds of different things that we're going to be doing. But it's all going to be healing of the mind, body, soul, and spirit. Possibly spray tan. Yeah, ain't nothing makes you feel better than looking pretty, you know? And that's P-U-R-T-Y, pretty. So.
Just so you guys know, tonight you might want to wear Depends because it's going to be a night of laughter. These ladies are so much fun. Good Lord.
Thank you, Tina. Listen, when we get with you, I swear to you, sometimes we get in trouble, and we have
I don't know what you're talking about.
We've seen ourselves before. That's a fact. So yeah, it can get real bad real quick.
Hey, we have never been charged, so we're good. That we're all good. We're all good.
That we know of. We never stay in town long enough to find out if charges have been placed. We leave pretty quick. So. I know that we've not been invited back to a few places before.
Oh my goodness! But you know what? You guys are always so much fun. You guys do so much. You do so many wonderful things, things that I have seen with my own eyes. But I have to ask now: are all the women in your family? Are they healers? I mean, was your mom a healer? Was your grandmama a healer? Is this something that you guys have just taken the information and turned it this time around? Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me about your family.
Everybody is gifted to some degree. As to what they choose to do with it is up to them. My mother is gifted in many ways. She's very quieted about it, and she only uses her gifts when she deems necessary.
Okay.
She's more of a prayer warrior. She's more one to come to you and tell you something when she feels that it's absolutely necessary. My friends would call her with, hey, they knew not to call her unless it was absolutely, life or death situations about things, and she would help, with that. She's a very godly woman. But she walks more in fear of terror of not following God and being afraid that she was going to dishonor God, because her mother was of a different cut altogether, and she was more how can I say it, evil and
well, that is one way to say it.
But before my grandmother passed, she gave her life to the I Am, and she did her best to walk in the light, and she was hilarious. She was a hilarious woman, and she was very loved and very liked, but you just didn't cross her. And she was a Melungeon, and she didn't know she was practicing dark things. It was just I don't believe she might. My dad said sometimes she thought she might have, and that may be true. But she was just, she did. Grandma read tea leaves, and I didn't know that. Now, I did not know that Grandma read tea leaves until recently. My aunt told me up until she passed away, she was doing tea leaves. And she was very much into things that I don't even know how to explain it. When it's a way of life that's been passed down, they didn't know they were doing hoodoo, but that was just because it was the way of life of that group of Melungeons. But they didn't understand that they had created that they were they were the original creators of the hoodoo in that area. and they didn't even realize that they didn't have a name for it. That was just a way of life for them.
Right. No, understood.
But they, they mixed the African arts with the Cherokee arts with the Protestant arts, and they come up with their own way. And their understanding was this: they could cast spells on you, and if it was God's will, it wouldn't stick. Yeah, and if it did work, then it was God's will for you to be terrorized. That was their belief. And that's not kind of the way it works. You know that. Right. But they didn't. So my mother, she had a calling on her life to be a pure light, absolute pure light, and so she recognized at a very young age that what they were doing was not of the light, and she was so intent on following the light that she was very cautious about how she walked in her gifting, and was very strict about how we walked in our gifting. And so my sisters are gifted. My brother is.
It's not just women. It's the men.
Yeah, the men and the women. So they all use it differently. On my father's side, the same thing is true, but it's a different type of gifting. It's more of the earth, as far as like herbs and stones and the ways of of nature and the wind and the direction and the signs and things like that. But it's still a gifting. Yet my father could predict illnesses and things like that by the movements of humans.
Well, now it's called a medical reading.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
We have that. Yeah,
like a medical intuitive.
Yeah, medical intuitive. So you can do a medical reading and medical intuitive. And Mom and I both do that, and I did not know that it had a name so probably 2 or 3 years ago.
I just found about 2 seconds ago it had a name.
I think we talked about it.
I forget.
Yeah.
We usually don't name.
Oh, I think we just diagnosed mine as dementia. Because I done forgot about it.
I just think you got so much stuff in your head.
I'm so smart that I just forget.
Oh, you ladies. Well, I have to ask, so it's come up through the family, the gifts, the abilities, the things that you do. It was, it's a way of life. So, Kat, do any of your grandchildren look like they will be following in your path?
Oh, Lord. Sweet Jesus. Sweet Lord, help me. They are so, it's so, I will say, I'll give you an example. What's that movie? There's a movie where a little girl points her finger and the mother grabs her finger and points it down and says, "Practical magic." Yes. So I have a grandson that's like that, and we have to be like, no, little Mamie was like that, my youngest one. It took us years to make her special gift was if you really made her mad, she could make you poop with your pants. And so we had to, you've heard those stories, Marie. So we had to really work with her. She'd get so mad at people. They would be like, "Oh, my stomach's hurting." We're like, "Oh, gosh, go to the bathroom now." But, and I've got a grandson that's like that. He gets really mad and he brings that finger up. We got to get it. We have to get a grip on him. But kids don't know any better. They don't. Then I have another one that is so overwhelmingly loved that he will, someone's sick, he will like throw his body on him and drape his body on him to start healing. Yeah, both of them are already, they do burns for healings and stuff, and they're just, how old are they now?
There's 9, just 8.
And they speak with the wisdom of angels. I mean, it's
if we're praying and someone doesn't say in Jesus' name,
oh gosh, yeah.
At the end of the prayer,
Yeshua, they just, so they're very gifted. My youngest grandson he looks right through you. It's very unnerving.
Yes.
So it's being had done.
There might be more to come.
Looks like we might be having somebody that might be coming on its way. Maybe. But there might be another one on the way soon, and we'll see what that's.
All right.
So, it's not Lamont ain't pregnant. No, he's not Tess. No, can't have no kids no more, can you?
That's right.
No.
But I will say, my cousins, my mom's sisters and brother, they were allowed to grow up in their gifts, but in a different way.
Right.
And even for me, it was different than how little Mamie was brought up. I was taught different things. A lot of it,
we were more secretive when Tess was growing up. We were more cautious. It was a different time,
Right.
And we were more secretive. We did things more cautious. I taught her privately and quietly, and my son as well.
Right.
My third daughter, Cheney, she just doesn't show interest in it really much at all, unless she absolutely needs to. And hers is more about dreams and stuff. She believes it. She just doesn't want to walk in it like so much. But I think she will as time goes on. Little Mamie, she just embraces it. You know that. You've met her. It's
right. I have, yes. Very much so. Kat, I do have a question from the chat room, and they want to know, hold on, let me quickly move up here so I can get this. At what age do you suggest you talk to your child about any abilities you think they might have?
Well, first of all, my very first question is, if they're having night terrors, immediately talk to them about it. We found, because we work with a lot of children, and we found that most children that are gifted have night terrors. And that's the reason called night terrors. It's terrifying. And what we realize is with the night terrors is because they don't understand the control of their gifting, they literally are leaving their bodies and exploring the spiritual world. And when they're trying to come back in, they have darkness that is trying to grab hold of them. Because this is a battle. And listen, evil doesn't care if it's a little child or if it's an old person or if it's someone with disabilities or whatever. Evil is going to try to destroy anybody with gifting of the light.
And because children are pure, it's easier for them to astral. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and they don't even mean to do it. So the first thing, if your children are having any type of night terrors or whatsoever, you talk to them immediately. Now, you have to understand, we work with the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. We do work with Yeshua, Yahweh, and Elohim. That in modern terms would be Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So with working with that, we have a lot of different tools that we use for protection for children. Now, we don't walk the mainstream church or Catholicism. We walk in the teachings of the Christ, which is a little bit different than
we don't walk in the spirit of religion.
Yeah, no spirit of religion. It's just the teachings of the Christ, and so it's a little more pure, and it helps. And we have a lot more tools that we can work with to help the children and adults. Some adults still have night terrors,
not just night terrors, but also dreams of flying.
Yeah, flying and different things like that.
My youngest, where when he was old enough to walk, he would climb bookshelves because he did it in his sleep so much. He was convinced he could do it
during the day because the children have a hard time differentiating between the spiritual, the sleep, the in-between world, and reality. And it is their reality. And so, as soon as you start seeing it, or if they have, you can tell if a kid's got a make-believe friend or if they've got a friend that's not make-believe and it's in the room. You can feel that presence. You can see, and you need to talk to them about it then. And you need to, of course, always anointing their rooms. Always, keeping the 23rd and the 24th Psalm open in their rooms. A lot of times, people say, well, you need to sage their rooms. Well, if you sage your rooms and you don't know what they're doing, you're just going to really PO, some spirit for about 3 days. They're going to be gone. Then they're going to come back angry with more stuff. So you kind of got to know what you're doing here. This isn't just playtime. This is serious stuff. So I suggest contacting somebody of the light. Just because somebody says they have the light, and you know this, Gina, we've seen it so many times, does not make them of the light. And but educate yourself to make sure that you are not putting your child in harm's way by connecting them with the wrong person. That could be more devastating than anything. But when your child starts showing signs of something, definitely make sure you use the right verbiage to talk to the child, and you need to let them be aware of it immediately. Because they're already
true. I like that answer. So now I know both of you are Reiki masters and teachers, and you also, you teach Reiki, but you also teach something called mountain magic. Can you do your best to explain to our listeners what that is exactly?
Well, we give everybody a hit of acid, and we sit around and we just, God, I'm
Wrong Mountain Magic, the other one.
No, I'm just kidding.
Put it in the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it was you drank the Kool-Aid. No, Mountain Magic is the generational heritage stuff that was passed down quietly and privately from all sides of our family. Again, everything that we did was done quietly. My parents realized that I was gifted at a very early age, and my grandmother, and so all the information that came from all sides, we have taken and we have condensed to make it teachable. Because as time has went on, families don't want to learn anymore. My dad's family all moved, to Pennsylvania, moved away from it, got away from it, moved outside of the gypsy lineage, and not that it's bad that they married without, didn't marry Melungeons or didn't marry gypsies, but because of that, there was just not an interest anymore. And so, my mom's people, they just, because of my grandmother's darkness, they had nothing to do with it. So, yeah, I still had learned it my whole life. I still had clung to it my entire life. And so when my father's passing, I was left as a matriarch of absolutely nothing, and except my children. And through much meditation and prayer, I'd taken off a year and went sabbatical into Cookville. And literally, there was this my bedroom was a complete glass room, and I sat there for a year in meditation and prayer until I got answers from Yahweh about how to handle this. And that's when the writings came on how to write Mountain Magic 1, 2, and 3. And it was taking all the lineage, the heritage, the ancestral gifts and things, and putting it into writing. And he told me to wait, and he would send me people of the Melungeon, the Gypsy lineage that had a heart and a desire to learn these ancient ways of the Appalachian people that obviously came from Scotland and Africa and the Cherokees, and it's a combination of all these things. And so that's what we have, and we take it and we use these beautiful ancient scrolls and all these things to create this healing that we do. And you've seen it.
Yes.
Not anything like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much so. Well, you know what I like? I like that all your students, once they have become a master, they put the word gypsy after their name, and you've got the Southern Gypsy. You just got to. So, can you name some of your gypsy students that are out there? Because I just love hearing about them.
To become part of the Mountain Gypsies, you have to be. You can take the Reiki classes, but not everyone is invited to take the Mountain Gypsy classes. It is open to those who are gifted, those who have, like I said, God has, Yahweh has brought to us, and that have the hunger and the desire and the heart. There's a very important test that they go through to see if that's true. They don't even realize they're going through it, and we'll invite them to take these classes. And when they take the classes, things happen along the way, and their name develops. And we have the Southern Gypsy, and we have the Northern Gypsies. We have the Butterfly Gypsy. We have the Warman Gypsy. We have the Buckeye Gypsies, which is also the geese and Duck and the geese is the Buckeye Gypsies. And we have, oh my goodness, there's so many.
I know.
We have the Froggy Gypsy. They're also known as the, my mind just went, but Starlight Gypsy. And the Prairie Healing Gypsy.
Prairie Gypsy,
goodness gracious. The Wilderness Gypsy. And each one of these, and there's more. There's so many more. We have hundreds of gypsies. Some of them are very active, and some of them are not as active. It's just according to what season they're in, where their journey's at. And it's not just like they take the class and that's it. They have to travel with us. They have to be, like when you see it. We require many practical hours. It's Carolyn, for instance, has been with us, 4 or 5 years, traveling on the road, learning. It's never ending. We have a group. We stay in contact daily with all of the gypsies. Several times a day. We're in contact with every gypsy, and Tess and I are always sending out more information, more knowledge.
Yes.
We're getting ready to do a class next week. Yes. A big class that is is about foundation and family, and it's a practical class that's going to just take hours and hours.
And that's how it is for me too with my students. There are a lot of masters who put people through their paces, through the classes, take their money, and then they just disappear in the wind. And then you have these students with questions and thoughts, and they don't know how to handle some of these different things. I love the fact that you're so much like me, where you stay in touch with your students. You guys worked all together. You help each other solve problems, or if there's somebody that is more than a young master is ready, somebody else just jumps in the car and they're there. They're just there. So I love that. I love that you do that as well. So it's not just Reiki; it's more.
You don't just say, "Hey, here's your certificate." You spent 4 hours in a class and you're a Reiki master. I see that all the time, and I really am not trying to put anybody down, but we meet so many people that come up and they say, "Hey, I'm a Reiki master," and you can feel the energy. And I can, and because of the gifting we have, and I'm not putting anybody down, because I know their heart and their desire is to be that.
Right.
I can feel their knowledge level is not that what it should be to have that title. And we've met so many people, and it breaks my heart, because I'm like, wow, no one really has worked with you. I mean, we actually had a one time that was claiming to be a Reiki master, and everybody, there was a big debate going on. She was doing stuff, and everybody was in an event. I think you were there.
I remember that.
She said, and everybody came to me and said, "Is she a Reiki master?" And I said, "Well, bring her to me and let me ask her a few questions." And I said to her, "Show me the symbols." And she did a few things. And I said, "What are the symbols?" She goes, "I don't know what that SHI, what is." And I said,
Yeah.
You definitely don't even have the heart of a Reiki master, nor do you know the symbols. So, and I don't think it was just her. I think that's true for so many people. It's a weekend, they make a big bunch of money, and they've got a title, but they don't know what they're doing, and we see so many people now that are teaching total hands off. And
yes,
there are times you can touch people,
Yes, yes.
And that is, it blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, everybody does it a little bit different, but like I said, the thing that I really like is the fact that you stay in touch with your students, and you guys all work together to help each other and to to help each other get through instances and clients and patients with things that they may not have had, experience with before. There's so many things out there now that we're dealing with, and it's good to have a Reiki family to go to.
Oh, absolutely. And they do, and they can contact us 24/7.
Well, that's the whole thing with the gypsies. We're more than just...
Oh, sorry, Jess. Just knocked it.
We're more than just gypsy, just the name. We are a family, and we do contact each other all the time, whether each individual person sending a private message or our big group messages, go off all day and all night.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is that everybody is so open and so honest that there's no holding back. People will say anything that they're feeling, thinking, or their heart's desire, so that nobody's judgmental in the group. Listen, if you are, you won't last long. You know me.
Right.
That ain't gonna. Yes. You won't last long in my group. So we, and so they of course we work with everybody, and if they don't have the spirit ready for that yet, then we bring them back a little bit, and then we teach them some more. So it is a journey and a learning experience, and we work with them nonstop, because Hey, I can live to be 200 years old, and every day is going to be a learning experience for me. Just when I think I know
totally
something,
agree.
and Yahweh goes, no, you don't. Let me show you this, and I'm going,
right.
Son of a gun. I never saw that one coming,
Yes. And you know what? Even though you are a master, you can still learn something every day from every single person. You're constantly learning. You will always be a student. There are things that I have learned since I first started teaching, and I invite all of my masters back and say, look, I've changed things up a little bit. I've learned a few things. I want you to know and understand this. I want you to come in on this master class so that you guys know and understand, because I've learned some stuff. Even my teacher has learned, and her teacher, and the lady who wrote the student handbook that we use, she learned more so than I learned. It was, it's as we learn, we all work together, and it's a great Reiki family.
One thing that we had been teaching for years, and one day God gave me an epiphany, and it was so wrong that I had to contact every student, and I'm like, don't ever do this again. I have no idea why. It was never clear to me, and it was one of these things that was very clear all of a sudden. I'm like, this is so wrong, and I contact people, and I'm like, we have to remove this, and we have to work, and I don't, but that's just the journey that we are on.
Yep.
We are in a human body. We're a spirit in a human body trying to reach over to the other side of the spiritual nature to find healing and the answers. And people that say, oh, I can see clearly, I can see this, and I know that I know. Well, they're not being truthful. I've done this my whole life. I come from a family of gifted people, and sometimes it's a very, very smoky and very difficult to hear. And sometimes the really clear voice is not the right voice. So you have to be very vigilant about your work and your meditation and your prayer and what voice you're listening to, and if it adheres to your spirit as truth. And we work on that very foundational fine points with everybody. And we, Lord God, sometimes I wonder why they stick with me, because I test them to the point that I know that I've broken them down in tears before, but not meaning to,
Right. No, I understand. I do. Well, you know what?
We're dealing with people's lives.
Exactly. Ladies, it is time for me to take a break. So, everyone, you are listening to Illuminating the Paranormal on ParaX with our guests tonight, Kat Young and
your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
I found it at last! Marla's Sacred Cauldron. This is the legendary artifact that has been whispered about in hushed tones for hundreds of years, and now it's mine! All
mine! Who dares defile the sanctity of my castle walls? Step away from the cauldron, you impertinent, muddy-metaled maltworm.
Never! I've spent half my lifetime trying to discover your age-old secret of stirring the cauldron.
Oh, for Merlin's sake, that's no deep, dark secret. Just tune into the ParaX Radio Network Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern for more cauldron stirring than you can shake a wand at.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I don't need to take up any more of your time, so I guess I'll be going.
Not just yet. We've got a little unfinished business to take care of.
That's Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Para X Radio Network.
And welcome back, everyone, to Illuminating the Paranormal. My name is Tina Marie, and our guests tonight are the Mountain Gypsies, Kat Young and Tess Hughes. Ladies, welcome back. It's good to hear from you, ladies. I'm so happy. We've got some questions in the chat room about long-distance Reiki healing that we'll get to, but I actually have a surprise for Kat and Tess tonight. I have brought in a special guest just for them. This person heard that they were going to be on, and this person has actually talked on Para X before, but it's been quite a while. But this person is actually spending time with me in my home during this time. So this person want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, everyone.
Say hi to Kat and Tess.
Hi.
Oh, Lord, I was sweating bullets. I thought it was going to be an ex-husband.
It's Kelly.
I realized it is now. Woo! Me and Tess is over here sweating. We didn't know who it was going to be.
No, it's Kelly. When I told her you guys were coming on, she's like, oh, they are? I said, yes. I said, yes. I said, they're going to be on tonight. Do you want to come down?
Girl.
Speak up. They can hear you, though. Go ahead. You can talk.
Oh.
They want to know how you're doing.
Oh, I'm good. Just waiting this.
You can tell them what you're doing now that you graduated.
Oh, I've been teaching down in Terre Haute, Indiana. Obviously not right now because of everything, but mostly just teaching. Doing good.
Oh, wow. That is wonderful. Awesome. I'm so proud of you. You're such a beautiful girl. So awesome.
Oh, thank
and you. Have
you.
to tolerate Tina Marie. That's amazing.
Yes, well, some of you know my daughter. Some of you guys know my daughter because you guys have met me at different shows. And Kelly, when I first started off, was with me all the time. Now, towards the end, she only gets to make the ones that are more in the South, like Mid-South with Keith Age. So, unfortunately, she doesn't get to come out too much to any of them anymore. But some of you have heard Kelly speak before on the radio when I was a guest at the Paranormal View with Henry Foister. So, and she was in the same hotel room with us and Henry and with everybody else. So I know you guys have heard her before. So she was excited to be able to come and say hi to you, Kat and Tess. She was very happy to hear. They said they love you.
Oh, I love you too.
What was that restaurant we'd go eat at? And
you mean every time we were out of town, anywhere, any state, it was always Applebee's.
Yeah, but there was one
Applebee's. Yes,
we
would always go to Applebee's, and we would walk in and surprise them. They'd say, "How many in your party?" 15, 18, 22 people. Because it always started off with like 7.
I'm like, here's Cyclone. It was in Ohio, and I'm like, why is there an ocean here?
Old Pediatric Hospital, and you're standing there breathing in the ocean, and Kimberly looks and goes, "What's she doing?" I said, "She thinks it's the ocean. She won't listen to me."
No, it wasn't the ocean. It was actually, what was it? Was it Lake Erie? I forget which lake it was,
like
but
it was. Dang ocean to me. There was boats.
It was. Well, it had.
Sand. I don't know what else.
Yes, it did. Yes, we were at a restaurant, and yes, we were right on the water, and it looked like the ocean. You're right. So. We have a lot of people in our chat room tonight. We won't talk about the crown on air. Maybe if you guys really want to know the story about Kat Young's crown that she earned, you can send me a little message on Facebook at Illuminating the Paranormal, and I will send you the story because it's not one I want to repeat on the air. But thank you, ladies.
But I can't defend myself. And if you want me to defend myself, send me a message. And I'll tell you what really happened. And then you send Tess a message, and she can tell you what probably really happened.
Well,
Lord,
now,
help us all.
A lot of times when we have either students, patients, clients, people who need Reiki and we're not anywhere near them, we can do long-distance Reiki. I had someone on here that wants to know a little bit more about long-distance Reiki. Do you want to tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, Tess is going to talk to them about long-distance.
Certainly.
Long-distance Reiki goes, you don't have to push that through.
Okay, sorry.
Long-distance Reiki goes through time and space and objects and around the world, and very hocus-pocus, but it's very true. And
yeah.
It's
like we're intercessors.
Well, intercessory is the best way to explain it. If anyone who grasps intercessory. One of the best things I always tell people to do is there's a movie called Doctor Strange with it's a kids movie, the Marvel movie, but it explains things on a comic book level, which is a juvenile level that most people can grasp. And
it does really a good job with Reiki.
It does an amazing job with Reiki.
Yeah, but long distance is like we stand in the gap for that person, and we are the intercessor between them and Yahweh. Yeah. And we're kind of like the electricity from God through us to them in a spiritual realm. Is the best way to explain it.
We're a conduit. That's exactly what we are. We are the conduit for the healing. Yep.
Yeah.
So I can be here and I can send Reiki across the world. It's as if there is no time or space. It's as if the person is right there in front of me.
You can feel it.
Oh yes.
Exactly. And today actually I had somebody who is going to be taking classes with us and contacted me. She said, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I feel like I need to go out and help the world and blah, blah, blah. I said, what do I do? I said, you sit down and you take a deep breath. You go before God, Yahweh, Yeshua, and you send that prayer, that energy to go out into the world. And you send healing to wherever it is you feel like it needs to go. You send that love wherever it is you need to go. I broke it down in very simple terms, and that's what I hope this helps. You could get so much, make sense of why I'm feeling this. It's also something I've been dealing with within all the gypsies. Mom and or I talk to each and every one of the gypsies on a regular basis. It's not daily, usually in either private message or on the phone. And a lot of the gypsies are like, I'm really quick to anger, I'm really, sad 1 minute, or I'm aggravated, or I'm real panicky, and I'm like, guys, everybody forgotten we're all gifted, because we're gifted, we're feeling these things, we're feeling this pain, we're feeling this panic of our neighbor. So
right.
People in New York, because, we're in Tennessee, or people in, Florida, or people in Italy, we're feeling this, because we're all connected, we're all humans.
And I don't know what level of degree some people that are listening are gifted, but I know that I have this gifting, and it can actually drive you insane right now, to where you can hear the conversations of your neighbors going on, and it can actually it's really, if you've been trying to shut it down, it's really difficult to shut it down right now, because it's overwhelming, the thoughts and the fears and the conversations that are going on, to the point that I've walked in my living room and like, hello, because that is how loud the conversations are, if you're gifted to where you can hear that. So for those of you who are gifted, first of all, that's not a gift that's talked about often. It's a real gift, guys. Right. So if you have that gift and it's happening to you, don't despair. It is very loud right now. The chatter is extremely loud. So I don't even, we call it the gift of chatter. if you're hearing the chatter that's going on around you, it's extremely loud right now, and you know it's hard to shut it down. But just hang in there.
Well,
I'm telling you, we're on the downside of this right now.
We are. It's fueled by fear, so it's loud right now. But it is going to start slowing down, so it's going to get better. Now, real quick, I'm gonna change things up here a little bit. Now, you guys, usually end of June or beginning of July, you guys have the Mountain Gypsy Gathering on Roan Mountain in Tennessee. Tell us about that.
Oh, Lord. You talk about a lot of fun, kids.
Things that happen on this mountain.
What happens on this mountain stays on this mountain.
Not just that.
So it's Vegas in Tennessee.
Well, we live on a mountain that is
on the Appalachian Trail.
The top of the mountain is 6,500 feet above sea level.
Wow.
And we actually live in a village. And anybody that's ever come to the gathering, they don't ever want to leave. They don't. And we've actually had people buy homes here, and they just always come back. It is the town was actually established as a spiritual healing town back in the early 1800s. The waters that run through here are healing waters. The high content of minerals that go through it are like none other. It's the last undisturbed ridge in the United States. In other words, it's not growing. It is like all other mountains are continuing to grow and move. This one does not. It is an undisturbed ridge. It is done. It's one of the most ancient ridges in the world. It still has the volcanic ash on the top of the ridges. It is one of the most healing places you'll ever go to. And there's no place like it. So we have a gathering up here, and a gathering is not like an event. An event is at 5 o'clock you're going to have this, at 4 o'clock you're going to. Well, we have that, but we go on gypsy time, which means if somebody feels Yahweh, Yeshua speaking to them and they need to speak longer, that's cool, man. We go with the flow. Right. And we have a lot of speakers. We have a lot of vendors. We have catered meals. And it's all we have parties. We have a Bigfoot hunt. Is that what a Bigfoot investigation? I always say hunt, and I don't think that sounds good. This year we're having a ghost investigation. It's going to be about 30 minutes away, but it's in the oldest town in the state of Tennessee. It's in Jonesburg, Tennessee. It is an extremely haunted house. And how do I know this? Because I got attacked there. I literally got attacked there. Several times.
Well, I won't stay there for more than about 10 or 15 minutes.
Last time I was there, I went upstairs because my friend owns a house. I went upstairs to she asked me to go, which I thought was like, oh, God. She asked me to go upstairs and put something in a room, and when I did, I tried to open the door, and it was jammed. And so I tried to open the door with, you know how you take these old doors, you have to take a knife sometimes to do it? And I was taking a knife trying to open it, and all of a sudden something on this other side grabbed the door and jerked it out of my hand. So I grabbed it back because I knew what was on the other side was not going to be good. Right. And now the door's jammed again. It's just some crazy stuff that goes in there. But I've been attacked on the bed there. But the house was built in late 1700s. You just got to. So the whole house is going to be open for the investigation. Again, that is part of the ticket. We've got. Carmen Reed from the original mother from Haunting in Connecticut is going to be there. Mm-hmm. We got Greg Pathetic, who is over Ohio State Reformatory, and he is an author. Yep. We got Dana Weingard, who is over phenomenology. She was, and she's going to come tell her story about being possessed at Disneyland. We've got Angel Roselle, who's going to be talking about being healed after a lifetime of pain. We've got Victoria Rosencrantz and her wife, Christina Rosencrantz. They're going to be talking about the healing of touch. We have also Crazy Wolf, who is an Appalachian Trail expert, coming and talking about that. We've got Caleb Trivet, who is going to be awarded this year at the Smithsonian Institute. He's a young guy, but we love him because he's pretty too. and he goes out and he's a forger. He has the talent of forging, and he's going. And plus, he'll be doing a special class on that as well. I know I'm forgetting by Carolyn and Charlie. We have Ode Robertson, who's an authority. He's a local Scottishman who's an authority, know-it-all on everything good and wonderful and ancient scrolls. He's going to be speaking. We got lots of vendors. Again, we've got creek walk, yoga.
There's one thing we forgot.
What?
They're going to hang out with us.
Oh, yeah.
And it really is, you really get to come into our lives. You get to be a part of our family.
Everybody comes to my house and hang out.
At gatherings of the past, we have covered dish dinners. I do want to say something. She asked about all the gypsy names, and we left one out just because we were rushing through them.
We left a lot out, but one of our beloved ones.
Yes, the Tender Heart Gypsy.
The Tender Heart Gypsy.
And I couldn't go on.
We love her so much. So, she's our teddy bear.
Yes. She's our
yeah. We're going to this year we're also going to be, we got a fireworks, and it's going to be, we're going to have a big covered dish or a catered dinner and live music, and we're going to have a hot dog. Another night we're going to have a grill. We're grilling out hot dogs. And, but the whole thing is, it is, as much as it sounds, it's a gathering, and everybody just hangs out. We all jump in cars, and we'll be like, hey, let's go to a thrift store. So everybody will be like, hey, after that lecture, we all run to a thrift store together. So
nice.
Yeah, it's just not an event.
It's a family thing.
You just have to experience it, and but the underlying thing to it all, it's continually, from the minute you get here to the minute you leave, somebody is in a corner or on a table or in a chair getting a healing. Continually.
So it's a weekend of love and healing.
Right. Absolutely. It will change your life. It will change your life. And it's not at all. It's July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And you can go to gypsystones.com. That's gypsystones.com. And you can read about it there, or you can go to Gathering 2020 on Facebook and read a lot about it. And the tickets are $50 for the entire weekend, and that includes the meals. You got to find a place to stay, but if you can't find a place, let us know. We'll try to help you.
Yeah.
Good.
Because if you're supposed to be here, you need to be here.
I know. It sounds like an amazing weekend. So if you guys are interested, yes, please find a way to get to their gathering on Roan Mountain in Tennessee. I can put some of their links on Illuminating the Paranormal on Facebook so you guys can get to them. But I have a question for you ladies. Do you remember the first time we ever met?
I do. I was thinking about it today.
When?
We were at Penhurst.
No, it was before that. It was before Penhurst.
Where was it?
We actually met at ShadowCon in Fort Wayne in 2014. That was our very first time we met.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. Yeah, because we were working our rear ends off.
Yes.
Came over to
You guys were on the other side of this convention center from me, and every time you worked on somebody, I could literally feel the waves of energy healing. The whole place just pulsated every time you started to work on somebody. I kept leaving my table to come over and just watch you guys because it was just so unbelievable. I was just, and to see people get up off the table, there were so many smiles, tears of joy. They were being wept not just by the people, not just by the people that getting up off the table that you were working on, but by their families. They were like, thank you so much, because the person that was going through whatever they were going through sat up, and they were like totally different people. The sadness that was just around them was just gone.
As I would like to accept all that, I have to give Yahweh, Yahshua, and Elohim all the glory, because I'm just a piece of equipment and I'm so thankful that God chose me and allowed me to be a part of that, because I am such a broken individual that God chose to heal and chose to allow things to happen in my life so that I can reach out You know, I've had lots of tragedy, and Tess has had a lot of tragedy. But he took that tragedy and he made it a beautiful life of love so that we can understand how to reach those people that are broken. I can't accept
of course.
that it was anything that I did, because he is so beautiful and he filled all my broken spots so that I can heal other people. And I have to give him all the glory and praise and adoration for that. And I'm so thankful for that. And so when I hear you say those words, I'm just blown away, because I know what a wretched person I have been and how he has used that. And gosh, thank you so much, because sometimes I forget about all those times and all those healed, because it belongs to him. Yeah, because it belongs to him, and I forget about it because I give it to him, and then we walk away, and I forget about all those beautiful people that were healed and all the wonderful things he's done. And so I just have to praise him again, you know, because that was, you know, Tina, how many times have we been places and we've had to yell for you and you've come in?
I tell you what, the time we were at Penhurst, that I got scared to death.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if you remember the tsunami.
Very much so. Yes.
That door, and I could see pushing energy. And I look up one time, and there's somebody standing there, but it ain't you. And I went, and I ran around, grabbed you, and went, just wanted to make sure you were still here. What I just saw, and it was. We were fighting evil on the level in there that I don't think people could understand. Do you, Tina?
No, you know, I have to tell everybody real quickly, because we're getting down to the end here, is the fact that but I have, every time that I have been somewhere with the Mountain Gypsies and they are working on people, it is when you guys are there that I am able to actually physically see with my eyes what the attachments actually look like. And I will say I have seen things that look like spiders that move like octopuses with claws like a crab. And I remember being at St. Joseph Hospital and literally just running to get to your table because I was just called without you guys saying anything. And the four of us worked together to pull that attachment out of that person, and to actually see it with my eyes. I was amazed. And then Penhurst was the very first time I ever saw something that looked like a snake that it was in somebody's spine. And I was shocked. I had never seen anything like that before. So the occasional getting to work with you ladies to help you guys sometimes with attachments, it's unbelievable to me. And people would never believe me when I tell them, you know, the stuff that I've seen with that. But once you become a master and once you start working with people, yeah, you do start seeing those things.
When you can work with people that are on your level, and I'm not saying that to put roses on my shoulders, but everybody's in a different place in their journey. But when you get to work with people that are on your level and you can be open and you can work with that, it is an amazing thing when you can see what Yahweh can do in that healing time. And it just, you're never the same. You're just never the same after that. No, so,
you're not. It's a good thing to be somebody different when you become a master and you work with people and help people like that. So, ladies, we are down to just the last minute or so. Do you want to tell everybody again where they can find you?
I just put stuff piece of bread in my mouth.
Facebook at Mountain Gypsies, Kathy Young, or Israeli Hughes on Facebook, as well as gypsyshows.com. I want to personally thank you, Tina Marie. We love you. Thank you for having us on. Thank you for being in our lives. And, you know, I think about you, pray for you, send you energy every day, and your daughter and your husband. We thank you all.
Oh, we love your husband. He's so funny. And you know what, Tina? You've always had my back no matter what, and I will never forget that. And I will always.
Well, ladies, thank you. I just love you. Yep. Sounds great. Ladies, I'm sorry, we do have to end this show. Everyone, thank you. We will come back next week with another great guest, but just wanted to say, stay